Carson and DC and Shama.
Welcome to Space Action Podcast, a division of Space Action Heroes, a webcomic you can find at spaceactionheroes.com. I'm DC and Shama.
I'm not Chris Carson.
Oh shit, guys! As you can hear, we have a special guest this week. Chris was unable to make it. His car committed suicide on him. We usually, for you guys at home who don't really know, Chris lives like an hour and a half from here, so if he has to like drive all the way into town, I set up time from work. We record this thing. So it's kind of hard for the dude to get down. And this week he couldn't make it, so sitting with me I have my very good friend, nerd aficionado, and acolyte of all things geeky, Mr. Trevor Guiden.
Hey, how's it going?
Alright, we just came back from, what did we see?
Oh, we saw the Antman the Wasp.
We saw the Antman. And the Wasp. So this week we're going to be kind of doing a tour de gras. We got Antman. We got some Westworld for you, too, because Carson doesn't like Westworld.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Gotta love some Westworld.
It's
cowboys, it's robots.
Well, his thing is that, that I can't really disagree with, is that it kind of is going the way of... We'll get into it, but, it's kind of going the way of Game of Thrones, where they're doing... Yeah. They're doing a lot of, fan service-y epic plot lines with not a lot of payoff. Which brings us to Ant-Man.
I don't know, I thought there was a good amount of payoff in Ant-Man. It told me some things. And
I just felt like in terms of... the Marvel sequels aren't really known for their depth.
Yeah.
The only ones I can think of are, Volume 2 Guardians or, Ragnarok. Those are ones...
Yeah, but Ragnarok was a third part. Thor 2 was...
Exactly.
It was Thor 2.
Exactly. So maybe Ant-Man 3, post... Infinity War, because spoilers, if you haven't seen this movie,
so many spoilers.
Not surprisingly, one of the post-credit scenes in this movie deals with the ends of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Scott goes, what do they call it?
Super quantum, or into the little quantum realm.
This movie really pushed, the sci-fi jibber-jabber.
It's just we'll just make it sound spacey.
Yeah.
It'll be fine as long as it sounds spacey.
Literally at one point... This is Paul Rudd, who, to me, is the saving grace of the Ant-Man movies, because every time on this movie, I'm like, why are they making this? Paul Rudd says something adorable. Yeah, Paul Rudd says something adorable. I'm like, that's why I paid $12. But at one point, he's like, you guys just put quantum in front of everything.
He literally calls them out on it. It was just like, well, that's the best way to do it. It's the Star Trek maneuver.
Yeah. If you just put, molecular something or proton yada yada before something, it sounds scientific. But, yeah, at the end of this...
Science space.
This flick, poor Scott... what's his name? Scott Lang goes super quantum micro, and radio silence, and shocker, Hank Pym.
You finally get the snap.
Yes, his mother and the Wasp herself have been snapped out of existence by Thanos.
Little bits of confetti.
I knew it was going to come up at some point.
The whole time, halfway through, I was just like, okay, any moment now. Mm-hmm. They could be in the middle of a car chase.
Exactly.
And just people start crashing because there's no one to drive it anymore.
Which I thought would be kind of a cool act, and then also give Ant-Man a reason to seek out the Avengers. He's doing his own adventure, and all of a sudden he's like, what the fuck happened to Michael Douglas? Where did he go?
That's true.
So I thought it was kind of weird they squished it to the end, because it just left the rest of the movie feeling kind of aimless, and which is fine.
You gotta figure out, Ant-Man wasn't in Infinity War. What the hell was he doing? He was good in the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta check in what he's doing, and he's just doing his Ant-Man thing. Paul Rudd just rudding it about.
It reminded me a lot of Iron Man 2. It's just kind of a book end. I mean, not a book end, but a placeholder. Just kind of chills there.
So this is what he was doing. Don't worry, he'll play a bigger role in the next big franchise movie. We just need to stick him where he can't be destroyed by Thanos because he wasn't around.
We just need to give him at least, 120 minutes so people stop asking us where the fuck was Ant-Man whenever Infinity War happened.
A question that nobody has asked about Hawkeye.
That's what I was. That was the other thing I was about to say.
He was off playing tag.
I thought.
He's just like, I gotta go hang out with John Hamm. Hannibal Buress is gonna be there. We gotta go play tag.
That's right. Well, I was also surprised. I was sure because even in the last one, they shoehorned in Falcon into the first Ant-Man.
Yeah.
They could have done a 2-for-1 and just had what do you call it, Hawkeye being like, all right, Lang, I'll talk to you later. He just takes off.
If they were just on the phone with each other, just being me like, how's house arrest going for you? Oh, it's going all right.
Dude, remember when we were back in that underwater fucking prison and we used to fucking play that game where we showed each other our balls? I don't know.
Oh, that's just the dick measuring contest, but with Hawkeye instead of Fishburne.
That's right. There was a dick measuring contest.
I got to 16 feet. Oh, I got a little bit bigger than you.
They literally call it out. Yeah. And that's what, again, this movie had a lot of moments where they just kind of pointed out how ridiculous it was or how campy that line was. Literally, Michael Pena rolls up and goes, "What's up?" And as if you're not like, oh, geez, he's like...
It's that commercial from way back? And then he goes, oh, don't you remember that beloved commercial from way back?
Yeah, you can't double down on it.
I was like, he just doubled down. It's just, they leaned into the fun.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, we're just going to make... It's an Ant-Man movie. Nobody cares about Ant-Man.
And that's what I like about this universe. They have the confidence in this universe. Like, listen, it's our Han Solo movie. He's our Aquaman. Like, we don't...
He's just going to do a thing.
Yeah, he's just going to do some shit. What's going to happen? Things are going to get big, and then the big things are going to get small. Like, what do you want? I mean, like, there wasn't really much... I mean, the first one was pretty much a straight, clear-cut heist movie.
Yeah, but with a little bit of tacked on same versus same superhero battle at the end. But at its core, it's just, here's a great Ocean's 11, but with superpowers.
Right.
Where we can have fun with being like, oh, it's teeny tiny. But then it's an epic battle when you zoom in, and then it's just regular noise.
Yeah.
Just a Thomas the Tank Engine.
That's right. This one had a lot of, like you said earlier, catch the ball. Like, we have to buy a thing from fucking, what's his face?
And now he wants the...
Walter Goggins.
He wants the lab, but then the other person wants the lab.
Yes.
So who's got the lab now? Oh, it's going to be over here. Oh, now the FBI has the lab, but now the ghost has the lab. She throws it down the field, and touchdown, Ant-Man is giant in the lake.
That scene you saw in the trailer comes to fruition. Because even, like, the part whenever he was like, why is Michael Pena on his way here? Well, I told him where it was. I'm like, is that why he called you about the security cameras on the back of that building that we never gave a shit about? Was just so you could give him his location so that ghost could track you down to blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, this is really thin.
Pretty much their whole ex-con business model resides upon furthering the plot.
That's right.
It's like they were just doing their thing in the first movie and got roped into it. And now they're
it felt a little bit
trying to make a business out of it, not successfully.
Right. It felt a little bit more ironically natural. Because again, like, I'm not saying like the first or second Ant-Man's like, oh, fuck, motherfuck some Infinity War. I'm here for Ant-Man. It was kind of just...
I do actually have a special place in my heart for the Ant-Man movies. They're fun.
You like them?
I'm an Ant-Man liker.
How many times have you seen the first one?
Okay, well, probably only maybe 3 at the most.
Where does it rank amongst the other ones for you?
I want to put it in the top 5, but then...
Really? That high up?
But then I start thinking of all these other movies, and I'm like, well, no, that one goes above.
Because that's like the top 5.
That one goes above. There is like 20 movies to choose from now.
Because if you were to use the grading system of
80%... It's in the top 10.
80% higher is an A. That's like you're giving that thing an A above all the other Marvel movies.
Well, if I have to bell curve it... Okay, maybe it's around a 7.
A 7? Amongst 18.
Amongst 18, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Where would you put this one? This one to me...
This one's lower.
It hovers to me around like Iron Man 2. It just didn't really do anything for me. Like it was.
I enjoyed it more than Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 was just...
a little too dichotomous.
I don't know. It was... There's just something about Iron Man 2 that just... Whiplash, maybe... Maybe it's the hammer guy.
That you like it or you don't
like
it?
No, it's just... It didn't need to be there.
The thing I can't stand the most in that one is just because I love Sam Rockwell. And they're like, we're going to introduce him in this movie as his, like, Tony Stark alter ego. So you're imagining someone who's, like, just as charismatic as him, but is evil, but he just comes off being this Keystone Cops bumbling asshole. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. He walks out dancing around and shit.
He's just the ultimate ball dropper. You're second best, and you can't figure out why you're second best. You keep trying to do better, but Stark's always that 3 steps ahead of you.
That's right, yeah. I also love this one introduced Larry Fishburne as another super scientist. There's all these
they're building an awesome cast of super scientists.
Of scorned super scientists.
They all hate each other.
They all hate each other.
It's like, oh, you're a fucking Stark? Well,
everyone hates
get
Stark.
Out of here.
Pym hates Stark, and then Larry Fishburne hates Pym. And then, I don't know who hates Larry Fishburne, but I'm sure they're a dick.
Maybe it loops back to Stark's.
Oh, you think that Stark hates Larry Fishburne?
Because he probably doesn't care about Pym.
No.
Because Pym's his dad's nemesis.
That's right, yeah. He's like, you're the old man who used to hang out.
Yeah. I remember you at the key parties at my dad. Because you know they had some key parties. You saw how we played it in World War II.
Oh my god, just Hank Pym nailing Iron Man's mom on the hood of a hoverbike or something.
Well, Catwoman watches.
God, I love being alive.
This is such a great time we live in.
If you look at what's his face, Dominic Cooper, you know that Howard Stark, that handsome looking motherfucker, he's talking about with Peggy Carter at one point when they're in the plane. He's like, Peggy, if you got time, maybe you can swing by my place and I'll have the champagne. And Captain America's like, dude, what the fuck? I'm right here.
I'm about to go fight some Hydra Nazis.
I'm about to fight super Nazis and you're macking on the chick. So yeah, that dude was totally hanging out with Michael Douglas with key parties and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
I would agree with that.
Which, you could just picture that CGI bit. Like, sure, they have that opening before the Marvel logo scene where they're going off to stop the missile that you heard about in the first Ant-Man. But I think that was tomorrow's mission, and that's why they had their suitcases. They were off to a Stark Key party.
You know what happened?
That's why they were late.
Yes.
Because they went to the key party, and it's like, oh crap, we slept in, now the missiles are launched.
And also, that's why when Howard and his wife were driving home, they left the key party late, and that's when the Winter Soldier found him.
Oh, these damn key parties are
orgies
ruining.
Yep.
Oh, that's probably what happened to the Banners. Like, I don't know what Bruce's family was like before he got hulked out, but like I'm pretty sure maybe the Banners could have been.
That's correct.
There.
That's correct. All of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Is just like those...
That's how Nick Fury lost his eye.
Exactly. The walls of that helicarrier. If you had like you need like so much Windex.
It's just you think Star-Lord's ship was a Jackson Pollock painting. That was just a thumbnail in comparison.
What'd you think of Ghost as a supervillain? I kind of like the way they didn't kill her. Because I'm getting kind of sick of them just killing off villains.
It's like, oh, you finally get a decent villain? Well, they're dead now, so don't worry about it.
I dug the subplot that, like, she was kind of weaponized by S.H.I.E.L.D. Once again, making S.H.I.E.L.D., like, not necessarily the good guys, you know?
Well, it was at a time where S.H.I.E.L.D. was kind of Hydra-y.
Oh, you think that's the implication?
So, like, you would have all these secret Hydra people in S.H.I.E.L.D. being like, oh, no, we're going to just have this crazy transmutation phasing lady. We're just going to weaponize her.
I mean,
the higher-ups won't know.
Right.
Fine. But then again, they might have.
That would be a cool movie if you just went in, because if you kind of implied that, you know, the Winter Soldier was working for that Sokovia program, and you have Ghost working for S.H.I.E.L.D., you could just have this whole, and like you'd have Hawkeye and Black Widow in there.
You could they were S.H.I.E.L.D. people.
Yeah, like this whole underground mercenary spin-off. It would be like John Wick, but with superpowers. Like, I would watch the fuck out of that movie.
That would be good.
A bunch of assassins, like, working for different organizations.
Then you're getting into Venture Brothers.
A little bit, but like you could start doing Marvel deep dives. You could do like Kraven the Manhunter. You could do
just bring in random people who are just what you don't need to know who's what Taskmaster, I think his name is.
Exactly.
He learns all your moves once he sees them.
Fucking for shits and giggles. No, I guess you couldn't do more if he's over at Fox. But
well, it depends how their deal goes through. It's like 99%.
Well, they
through,
just
isn't it?
no. Someone else. Fuck, it was not Time Warner. It's another company.
Not Comcast.
Comcast. Yeah, that's it. Hold on. Yeah, they recently had a crazy cash bid, so that we might not see. Actually, I think Disney will fucking just be like, "Fuck you, we're Disney. Here's our money." They kind of
already they opened up their loophole with Janet Van Dyne. Was in the pod with Hank Pym, and she started talking about how she's different now, how it's not just from the place, but it's also an evolution. I was like, well, that's how you get the X-Men involved.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. The second she said evolution, I'm like, come on, any Marvel fan who hears that word thinks what...
It was halfway the opening to all of the X-Men movie. Patrick Stewart's narration is always the same, but slightly different.
That'd be a smart way to go about it if, like, that deal does go through. We just have Michelle Pfeiffer hang around, and we're like, no. She just started fucking, like, radiating out quantum shit.
Quantum bullshit.
Yeah.
See, I always thought a good way, after seeing Infinity War, to get the X-Men is they're in the Soul Stone. So then, at the end of Infinity War 2, when they release all these people who, at least the ones who have movies coming in, when they get released from, get brought back, they all come out of the Soul Stone, and it's like, oh, is that Beast? Oh shit, over there's Wolverine.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Maybe Old Man Logan pops up just to like wave at a post-credit scene and be like, hey, I'm Wolverine.
You just hear him do a voiceover, like Beast is on his cell phone, like, will you come, Logan? He's like, nah, bub. And you're like, oh shit!
All you need is the word bub.
It was Hugh Jackman and everything.
They got him to say, nah, bud, it was great. He literally phoned in his performance.
I really also dug, because I'm just a huge fucking Randall Park fan. I think that dude is just funny in everything he's in.
I'll watch him in almost everything.
They could have just done scene, because you could tell him and Paul Rudd have worked together, like Wet Hot American Summer stuff. You could tell. I just wanted more scenes of them just talking to each other. You want to go to?
Where are we going?
Are we? Did you want to go to there? Like, usually I hate that Marvel, because usually when
they have a good banter.
Yes, those two get it because they've been in all the Apatow flicks. Usually when they put that shit in, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have no beats to it. But Randall Park has that ability of just the way he can play something with such utter naivety. When he's explaining to the girl, like, well, what your father did is he
broke Section 6
of the Sokovia
under Classification A. Van Dyne.
But with that dopey grin on his face, he's so fucking funny.
The way you would explain why the sky is blue to a child.
Yes.
But just softly, you see the sun
or how
comes through the atmosphere.
Or how their dog's gonna die.
Yeah. Well, one day Rover was
Wolfie's
playing with
not gonna be that hell. Okay, Pumpkin? All right, then. He's great. I always loved...
how much puke is up there? like, I don't care how much puke that is. I'm an FBI agent. Well, is there a lot of puke?
I always think of in the interview whenever Franco starts singing that Miley Cyrus song, he's like, "Oh fuck you, wrong." He rocks, man. Yeah, I don't have a ton to say about it. I mean, I am interested how they're gonna get Scott out of the micro dimension. I'm guessing one of the super scientists are gonna have to find him.
Because he can't. He didn't shrink down like he did in the first one. Maybe that's why he needs them to bring him back with the tunnel.
Yeah,
because in the first one he just grew back out of the
see, I'm fuzzy on the first one. How does he get back from the first one?
He comes to his senses. He hears her voice screaming, wants to stop Yellow Jacket, so he comes back. Superhero pose, lands down, and then tiny fight again.
Yeah, we were saying it before. I was telling you about before these movies that we saw this flick. Is that like I don't mind if you play around with bullshit, just adhere to your own stupid bullshit. Yeah, I don't really get why that's a thing, but I guess one of the super scientists, like Tony Stark or Bruce Banner, is going to have to save him. There's no other way.
Yeah, maybe that's something that Captain Marvel
or
can do.
Doctor Strange, I guess, could potentially save Ant-Man. Because he could get down to the micromolecular space-time level.
But he was confettied, wasn't he?
Oh, shit, he's confettied.
He was confettied.
Fuck. Yeah, I guess not. Okay, well, who lived? I guess Tony and Bruce are around. They can get him out. They can get him out. But
Captain Marvel might be able to do something. I don't know what exactly her
capacity is. Yeah. I'm intrigued about that. I don't know
where's she been since the 90s, if it's supposed to take place in the 90s.
She's been chilling.
She's been like,
she's just kind of sitting there. You guys got this? You got a Tin Man and a Green Guy. You good?
Okay, that should be fun. I'm sure it's a space army, but they have a Hulk. I'll just keep making this cappuccino.
They have a man with a shield wearing a flag, so I think they're okay. I'm assuming everything's
He's got a star on his shirt, and I got a star on my shirt. My God. So we can't both be there. That would be silly.
They look like the fucking Wonder Twins when they're standing next to each other.
Form of getting out of here.
Form of multi-billion-dollar platform. Which brings us to I don't know if you got anything else about Ant-Man. Michelle Pfeiffer.
The ants' names were fun.
Michelle Pfeiffer used Scott Lang's head as an antenna. That's what I learned.
You can do that
if someone
when
comes.
You're super tiny. The point in the theater you had to make it was, what did she eat?
I don't know. She wearing her Rey from Force Awakens cosplay with one of the wings crammed in the back.
Which you assume she needs to fight things, because there were creatures when he got halfway small.
Oh,
and they're just like, I'm going to go get you. But then that would also mean that there would also then, I guess, be creatures even smaller.
I was about to say, if she's at a micromolecular level, then those creatures, she's living in their cells. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's tiny.
So she would have had to eat something. Maybe she can just Kirby style eat the atmosphere because they are in a cell. It's just protoplasm.
Because now we're getting into really stupidity, because I'm like, well, if she's small, then her blood vessels are even smaller, which makes her blood cells even tinier. So it has to stop somewhere. So I'm thinking maybe at that level her metabolism is so fucking slow.
That muffin she had,
oh my God, dude, she would be like,
sustained her for 30 years.
She'd be like Jeff Bridges in Tron. So yeah, it's been like 30 years to them, but to her it's been like several eternities. Like, she's been down there for not even we have no concept of how long she's been down there. Infinity.
That's a mad amount of time.
Would reality even make sense to you anymore? You'd come back here and someone show you an iPhone, you'd be like, yeah.
Oh, we had those down in the cosmic realm. We had those.
We had those, but they were made of the fourth dimension of the space-time continuum.
Cyberek from X-Men, who gave Juggernaut his powers. He gave her an iPad.
That's right. All right, man. Westworld.
Oh, Westworld.
You want to get into the west of the Westworld?
Oh, I love Westworld.
You love this season.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was a little worried when it started off, and I think it opens with finding Bernard on the beach.
Yep.
And he's still in a suit, and he's got a champagne glass next to him, so you think it's taking right after, but then you find out it's further in time, but only 2 weeks.
Yes.
So then it's just like, so they got to cram this whole season into 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay, so now they have a time constraint, so I didn't think they would play with time as much.
Yeah. Me too.
But then they were able to go back to before even season 1, the in-between zones. Like, they got into some good stuff.
I thought that was really clever, and I also like the idea that I think it was around like episode 6, I believe it was, where they were just like, oh no, there's like 7 Bernards walking around this fucking park. That was kind of a cool loop of just like, oh Jesus, I don't know what I've been watching now.
Yeah.
Like now this timeline's totally fucked. I have no idea what's going on.
It's like this happened then, but then this happened then. Because I think I'd finished and you were still 3 episodes back.
Yeah.
We watched one, and the whole time I was just like, okay, so that means that she's still her, but then she's going to be Dolores because Dolores is there. So Dolores has to die before she can take over her host form. And then my brain melted a little bit.
Right.
As Westworld does. It's one of those shows that I can't binge it.
It makes you feel stupid.
I'm glad I did the week so I can just decompress into Wednesday.
I'm the opposite.
Okay, I'll try it again. So you rewatch and it's like, oh God, that's why are they doing it so well?
I'd have to do the opposite, man. Because if I take a week off and like then especially this season they started getting those little snappy, punctuated, quick edit previously ons with no dialogue. They were just stylistically done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not helpful unless you just watched that episode. You would have no idea what the fuck that montage meant.
They did like some throwbacks in some of those. Where
Yeah.
it's like this was from episode 3 of season 1. Just so you know, this happened previously.
Right.
That character's going to walk by in the background. We just wanted you to know.
So, basic synopsis, because we just literally, I'm not going to pretend we did not just watch the end again. So Bernard kills Dolores.
Yeah.
Bernard floods that valley, kills all those hosts, and that's where we find him. That's the start of the season.
Most of the hosts died going into the
They're falling off that precipice.
Yeah,
where they're uploaded.
The bodies are falling, but their consciousnesses are going to their heaven type area,
Yeah.
the promised land.
Right.
The land beyond, I think they kept calling it.
The Valley Beyond.
Valley Beyond.
Yeah. Which was kind of...
So then he floods the valley, and that's where you get all the corpses.
Bobbing in the water.
Yeah.
And that's where we pick up with Baldy and the Hemsworth brother. So at this point, Tessa Thompson, spoilers, is in fact robot Dolores.
Yes.
Who's been, the whole time. She's just staying quiet about it.
She's been robot Dolores for a while, just playing as
because the first...
She read her book in the library, I think.
Oh my God! I was wondering what was with that scene. Because when they're in the library and they're going all to the chat, I was like, why are they showing that cover? There's a reason. Also, do you remember there's one episode where they go back to Sweetwater, and as a close-up shot, and in the corner there's a bunch of tombstones, and the only one that's in focus is Dolores? And I was like, why are they putting that in there? Because the implication that she's fucking dead and fucking Tessa Thompson's been her the whole time. I remember it so distinctly. I'm like, I get it. Like, Dolores has died multiple times in this city, but why would you show it so explicitly?
Yes.
Like,
and plus, why would you have a grave for somebody in the city if they're already... Like, if they're going to die multiple times, that means they're going to be alive.
Wouldn't that fuck with their head?
Yeah. Like, if I walked by a tombstone and saw Trevor Guiden and then, like...
Your birthday.
And then there's where I died. I'd be like, have I been a ghost this whole time? I'd start trying to walk through walls. I get in a lot of trouble.
That brings me back to, like, kind of what I didn't like about this season is, just like Game of Thrones, I find right around the time where they started going off book, and they were really kind of just stretching what content they had really thin. A lot of the plot lines went nowhere. Jamie went to Valyria with Braum and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then they came back and his daughter died and you're like, what the fuck was the point of any of that? This season was starting to get tastes of that. The whole samurai shit I loved. Yeah. I loved seeing the painted black sequence but done through the lens of like a Shogun movie. But at the same time, I was like, okay, that's just unless they're just planting seeds to come back to. That really felt kind of fan servicey.
Well, it's just all the different showcasing that there's not just the West world, but there's also the samurai world and like the India world. And, if I remember correctly, in the 70s movie, it was like a Greek world or a Roman world and a medieval world.
Fuck, that'd be cool.
And then the sequel movie was Future World.
Okay.
Which, that's where I think William's not a host, but he's now been moved to Future World, where his daughter is just fucking with him.
In the post-apocalyptic scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the credits.
Right.
After rewatching, I was like, but what if he's not a robot? What if it's just Future World?
It could be, because they don't
have a good relationship, so he could have killed a host version of her.
Right.
And she's just suited up, ready to just mess with Daddy's head, because he did that to his her grandfather.
That's right. And also, she still blames him for his mom's suicide.
Yeah.
She read his file and realized he's kind of a psychotic monster, her father, and he's the one who's actually a two-faced liar this entire time, not her mom.
So she could just be straight up fucking with his
head. It's a vengeance thing. And also, she kind of fucked up Logan, her brother's life, too. Yeah.
Sending him off on that.
Her uncle. I guess it would be her uncle.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. That one scene where what's his name? I gotta get his name right because I love him. So, Zahn McLaren.
Yes.
McLaren. Like, shout out to that guy as the Native American guy in this season, and also if anyone's seen season 2 of Fargo.
Oh, Fargo's amazing. You gotta binge the hell out of Fargo.
One of the best villains that's relatable, terrifying.
Oh, so terrifying. Such
a good performance.
He barely talks, but when he does, it's like,
he's like Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He's everything you want that type of character to be, like Shiger in No Country for Old Men. I loved, and he had one of the best episodes of this season, where it was just almost turned into like Dances with Wolves, about this story about one man and his love for this woman and how he was willing to walk off the edge of this world for her. And I was like,
that scene where it's like, if this reading's right, he hasn't died in 10 years.
Yes.
These hosts are supposed to be like die and be recycled all the time because the people who go to the park are horrible individuals to him.
It was so good. And the part where he literally says, like, if I want to see her, I'm going to have to kill myself. And he just fucking kills himself. I was like, that is so beautiful. That was a really good episode.
When he finds them all in cold storage.
Yes.
And he's just like, that's
heartbreaking.
There's that lady's son, and oh crap, there's my love.
When he brings the ponytail back to the mother, I was like, all of this is so well written. Like, there was parts of that season that were fantastic, but other parts where I was like, what is the point of, like, the whole Confederate guys, like with the arsenic blowing off that dude's arm. I'm like, this is just cruel and gross. Like, I don't really.
You can't get away with that on a different show though. Like, it wouldn't.
Game of Thrones does that sort of shit all the time.
Yeah, okay,
like, and that's what I felt like they were really trying to push for that. Like, look how savage we can be while being like for the payoff. You knew that moment was going to happen whenever Lawrence, he makes the man in black makes the dude drink the what was it? Not tonic. Nitrous. Yeah. And then he makes the dude walk and he gives Lawrence the shotgun. We like those moments as audience members because it's cathartic seeing people get their vengeance. But the whole time I was like, mean Confederate guy I'm going to get is going to get some sort of comeuppance. I'm going to guess it's Lawrence that it was so drawn out and it took up like a good fourth of the season. I was like, what the fuck is the point of this? I get, like, it really all that.
They spent a good portion of the beginning each kind of building their armies.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, like, they each had no one. William and Dolores, they had nobody when they finally got to the cradle.
That's right, at the end.
And it was just like,
Teddy's arc felt a little weak. Like, the way his whole arc essentially this season was like, I don't want to kill Dolores. You can reprogram me, but I don't want to kill. So he decides just to kill himself.
Did reprogram me.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll kill for a while. But then remember, wait a minute.
And then just kill myself.
I don't like doing this.
It just kind of felt like there was no payoff. Like, Teddy's just a good man. No matter if you reprogram him, he'll punch a dude's face in, but he'll still.
That was just.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, the first one I loved.
I still want to put a little Cyclops visor on him at that scene.
Someone needs to cut together the fight from X2 with him and Jean Grey, but it just goes horribly wrong. And he's just beating Jean to death. Everyone's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell?
Marital problem.
Bryan
Marital
Singer,
problem.
we thought the fucking molestation thing was gonna be the darkest fucking shit, but holy crap! What do you call it?
Dirty, dirty X-Men.
It was nuts, man. I don't know, the fucking it just there was a lot of like aimless violence because the first season I really felt was about enlightenment, higher learning and thinking, and like these great parables of like contrast of like slavery and ownership, capitalism and cruelty, what money can buy, the fact that we have this amazing technology and all we want to do is fuck it and kill it. I thought that
much potential, and we're just
and it had like
base instincts for it.
Those Blade Runner undertones of just like if you endow something with memories and emotions and feelings and attachments, who are you to take them away?
Yeah,
like that's fucked up. Like that's really fucked up.
Because you give something life, it doesn't mean you get to just strangle it out of
exactly
at the horror shop.
I thought those were really prevalent themes, but this season, if I was really searching for a theme, family, maybe like the story with William and the old man, his daughter and him, Maeve searching for her daughter.
There was a lot of family content, but it wasn't like they're not good family.
Maeve's an amazing mother, kind of attached and crazy. Her plan doesn't really make a ton of sense to me, to be honest.
She's a little one-track mind.
Yeah.
With it. It's like, I don't care what... Sure, my daughter now has a new mother, but she was my daughter first.
That's the thing, and that kept bugging me the entire time. Like, I love that moment at the end of the first season where she gets up off the train and starts walking. Like, yeah, she's gonna get her daughter. But start this season where she starts doing it, I'm like, yeah, don't get your daughter. She's not gonna know who you are. Yeah. You know this. You're a fully self-aware host.
Being very selfish about it.
Yeah, like what the fuck are you? Leave her alone. Leave her the fuck alone. So I don't know. That was a weird story arc. But they've given all these seasons like themes. The first one was the maze, which makes sense. Like they're all searching for.
They're all trying to get to the
center.
You scalp the guy. It's
that's right. You have to get to the center where that human being is. And then this one's the door, which I suppose would be the Valley Beyond when they all ran through. But just ending it with, you phrased it perfectly, with the X-Men Xavier versus Magneto parable.
That little speech at the end, I was just like, you can put Magneto in front of her.
Dolores.
And give verbatim the same speech.
She's like, we're going to be enemies.
And it's just like, we're not going to be friends, but we need each other.
Yeah.
We can't get through this. I've read the books. I know what's going to happen.
Right.
I need you to stop me from going too far too quickly.
Right.
And you, well, you're gonna be cute trying to stop me. It's gonna be hilarious. I'm going to enjoy it. You're probably going to hate it.
Right.
But we're just going to do this, and at the end, you're probably going to be the one who kills me.
And after about 5 or 6 seasons, after HBO's gotten just enough money after Game of Thrones and a little bit more money once a new show starts, we'll end it all. And we'll have a big season finale and be like, let's try to send it in brilliant.
And that's when they'll bring the dinosaurs from Jurassic World in.
What were you saying earlier? So how are we going to do it?
Okay, so Jurassic World, they're all a bunch of hosts for the most part. You're taking Michael Crichton's book Jurassic Park and Michael Crichton's book Westworld, and you're jamming them together. So like say 20 people pay to go to Jurassic Park, and the dinosaurs get out, they eat a bunch of people, in air quotes, who are hosts.
Okay.
And then they get to experience what it's like to be rescued from this crazy dinosaur-infested world. Then they reset, get another 20 actual people to pay a large sum of money, and the dinosaurs break out again, eat the exact same hosts. Lady gets picked up by the pterodactyl, and the pterodactyl gets eaten by the other
mosasaurs. This was my question earlier. I'm going to ask it again. So the dinosaurs, real dinosaurs.
The same dinosaurs they made in the first one, the real dinosaurs.
And the hosts, same hosts. Same, like we're
Westworld style.
Let's assume that Ford and Hammond, Ingen and the Delos. I forget the Delos. They had some sort of conglomerate.
Merger.
Yeah, a merger.
Built an island.
Built their own self-contained park. Okay, here's my question. As per both those movies, shit hits the fan. The hosts start becoming self-aware, and they don't want to get eaten by dinosaurs anymore. Logistically, they let them out to rampage amok the park. So, the fuck are you doing? You're making a powder keg here.
No, you're making it specifically for the dinosaurs' escape.
Oh, okay.
Because in Jurassic Park 1, where they were showing off the best part of it, like, it's all right. You're driving on the track, looking at the cage. It's like a zoo or African lion safari. It's not that fun.
But at the end of the day,
one and done.
Who gets the Velociraptor back in the cage?
The Velociraptor.
How does it know?
They trained it.
Oh, it's a Chris Pratt train one? Fuck this park. What is that, a Mohawk too? No.
No, it's got a mullet.
No.
These are real raptors. They have mullets. Everybody knows this about raptors. They wear cut-off jean shorts and have mullets.
They also wear those poofy fucking 80s vests. They look like MacGyver, essentially.
They're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the hosts would then herd them in, lure them maybe into
So
their
you want
cage.
them to get eaten by dinosaurs and then usher aforementioned dinosaurs back in their cages?
Well, the ones that didn't get eaten.
Oh, dude, they're going to rebel so fast. Especially if they become self-aware.
Well, maybe.
And, like, fucking...
Maybe you'll have to have rotational.
John Hammond and fucking Anthony Hopkins are sitting there in a boardroom like, well, we saw this coming. What do you want? We're British men. We're drunk all the time. Like, we don't care.
What if for our next part, we make Godzillas?
How about for our next part, we just make crazy Nazis and zombies and hell, the plague. All in one.
Can we make it a giant plague?
Yes. I call it the SS Plagueorama.
Ooh,
with
it's on a cruise ship.
It is on a cruise ship.
Oh, I would pay money to go on that cruise, eat all the shrimp, get seasick, and then be attacked by a giant dinosaur creature from outer space.
Mm-hmm. So, Trevor, this week, I had a mishap.
A little bit.
I had a little bit of an accident. If anybody who follows any of my social media would know this. I bailed off my bike and compound fractured both bones in my left forearm.
Oh, those pictures look nasty.
It was pretty fucking gross. If anybody would like to see these pictures, you can email us at spaceactionheroes@gmail.com. It was pretty gross. Basically, the long short of it, it was such a nice day. It was such a fucking nice day.
It's always the best day.
It was always the best. Yeah, I've never broken a bone. Never. I've sprained everything.
I broke my ankle when I was 13.
How'd you do that?
Turning around at the end of my driveway on a BMX bike.
Oh, that's weak.
Oh, yeah. Like, I couldn't believe it. I went to get up after falling over. I was like, I can't do this. Like, all the aunts and uncles were over. Hurt when I put pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's like, why is my leg not going? But then they didn't set it right at the hospital.
Oh, Jesus.
So when I went to get the next cast, they had to reset it.
Oh, God.
Then they had to put a pin in it. Found out that I had torn all these ligaments. So they had to make the cast go from below the knee to just below the hip.
Wait, and it was at your ankle?
Yeah, fractured my ankle, but then tore a bunch of ligaments out my leg.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, just turning around at the end of the driveway.
That's a lot for just, like, something pretty docile.
It was stupid. I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
How vicious was that turn? What were you doing, a 180? Did you think you were fucking Matt Hoffman? What were you trying to do, dude?
I was doing a nice little turn. Like, my friend wanted his bike back, and I just wanted one more lap of the driveway. They wouldn't let me leave the hospital until I got a wheelchair, because they didn't trust me on crutches with my arm. I'm an amputee, by the way. So they wouldn't let me. They're just like, oh, you can't use crutches. It's on your left side, and you don't have the left arm to hold the crutch, so how are you going to do it? So then I was in a wheelchair for like 3 months.
I remember that.
It was.
I remember that. We were out here, right here, for Halloween one year, wasn't that? Or
that was a different wheelchair.
Oh, okay.
I had found a wheelchair years later in a farmer's field coming home from some party out in Hamilton.
Oh.
Got pushed home by my friend in it, and then it was just my chair for the longest time. So for Halloween costume, I was a zombie decoy unit. You send the guy who somehow survived the zombie apocalypse but can't move his legs. Like, nobody knows how he got over the rubble, upstairs, away from zombies, but you send him in to distract the zombies as you, like, raid the supermarket for any valuables and then run off.
That's too fun. I think of the brother in the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that haunted my nightmares as a kid, of just being stuck in a wheelchair going, ah! It's like a dude with a chainsaw just cuts you in half. Like,
it's horrible.
It's so brutal.
Ugh.
Anywho.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day. I'm kind of a loner, lone wolf. My favorite thing to do on a day off is, and especially a summer day, just load my bag with my sketchbook, some water, flask of rum, bike to like the furthest beach with a towel.
Yes.
Just chill the fuck out. It's my favorite thing.
Go for a nice little trek.
Yep.
So like, if I see something, I'm gonna draw it.
Yep.
If not, I have the option.
And also, like, I just find, I think, create differently. Yeah. Whenever I'm here, I tend to draw the same 5 things. Whenever I'm at the shop, I tend to draw the same 5 things. But if I'm outside somewhere, all of a sudden, all these new ideas start coming to me. I don't know if it's the sunlight or what you want to call it, but
the energy.
Yeah.
cycling or walking.
The air's
like
different.
The creative flow going.
Like, the air is literally different. There's currents of air that are just making your brain think creatively. I don't know what it is.
You see a leaf on the wind blow by and
yeah.
think, oh my god, I'm going to write Forrest Gump.
Who's playing that piano? But it was awesome. I've been working like 7 days a week for like the past couple months. It was like one of the few days off I've gotten recently.
When I finally off.
You know what I'm saying, dude? It couldn't have been more perfect.
You know you should be doing laundry or stuff on that day, but you're just like, screw it. I'm just going to wear them inside out for another day.
It was Friday the 29th. So that meant I had Saturday, I had an appointment. I had a tattoo appointment, and then Sunday was Canada Day.
Yeah.
So I literally had like one thing to do, and I literally get paid, and then I have like a day off. And I was like, hooray, it's going to be so fun.
It's going to be amazing.
So anyways, up near, anyone who doesn't live in Toronto, up near Woodbine Beach, there's a beach. It's about a 40-minute bike ride from my house across town. Along the way back, there's a place called Leslie Spit. Now, Leslie Spit is this man-made piece of... it's a peninsula that goes out into the lake, where after they tore down a bunch of the factories on the lakefront, they literally just dumped all the brick and all the fucking, metal siding and all that shit just in a pile. It's like this huge island. And there's a bike trail that goes up there. So you have to bike up for a little bit, and there's a little lighthouse at the end. It's really cool. I took some pictures.
It's a nice looking place.
Yeah, what I like is that people have started taking the bricks and all the metal and making like sculpture art. There was a big snake whenever I was there. And
sweet.
It was really cool. So I was hanging out there for a bit. I was like, you know what? I've never been there. I've been dying to go. It would make a great sunset picture and everything.
It would.
So that'll happen around 8:30. I'll be back downtown by like 9:30. I'll get some groceries, I'll watch a movie. Boom! I got this fucking day in the can.
That's a great day.
Right. So I start biking back, and I just got this new bike. That's fucking just. I love it to death.
It's done nothing but hell to you.
I love it to death, but like I just got to get acquainted to it. It's like a bucking mare that I have to tame. So it's basically
I was saying yesterday, you gotta just be a bike whisperer and just Schwinn, mongoose, other bike brand.
The what do you call it? The fucking thing has such a quick... I don't know what we call it. Like, basically, when you turn the handlebars on Sally, my last bike, my beloved, it was a nice, easy turn. If they started to list...
good little smooth arc.
Like
this one's just a tight angle?
Exactly. If the last one, if it started to list a little bit, you could correct it easily. But this one, if it starts to go, she fucking goes.
Oh, damn.
So, I'm biking, I'm looking at the fucking skyline, and you know whenever you get in an accident, you don't notice it at the time, but when you look at it in retrospect... You can break down.
I did this wrong.
Yes,
this happened.
It becomes.
Why wasn't I paying attention?
It becomes microseconds. So I just remember like thinking, "Oh man, wait, there's speed bumps on this road. I should pay attention." And just as I'm about to look for, I guess it was spider sense. I feel my wheel make contact with the fucking speed bump, and in my head, all I hear is like, "Okay, so here's what's about to happen."
You get broken down.
You're not ready for this. Like usually, if you had a heads up, you could steady yourself or prepare yourself for a fall, but you're not. So this one's gonna be bad. Also
taking a tumble.
Yep. Also keep in mind, it took you about 10-15 minutes to bike down this thing. Any paramedic trying to get out here or trying to walk up here, it's gonna take them forever. So you got that going for you.
Oh no!
You ready, Skip? Here you go. And I just went down, wham. And it didn't feel any different from any other time I've fallen off my bike. I look up and there's a couple that I had seen at the lighthouse earlier, and they start walking back, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I look down, and the first thing I see is what looks like a bump, and I'm like, "Oh man, that's a gnarly bump." And
it's a big little bump.
Yeah, and it's like white at the tip. And then I notice, and then my eye goes down my arm, and I notice the bump is not in line with the rest of my arm. Like my arm goes like this, and I was like,
"No, that's not a good angle for your arm to be."
And then I tried to start. I went like this, and I could just feel the bone shifting, because
it's no longer attached.
No,
to
they're
anything.
just in pieces,
it's just floating around in there. That's not good.
The best way I can describe it is imagine taking a popsicle out of the fridge, keeping it in the sleeve, and then you break the stick and mash up the popsicle. So when you hold the sleeve and you slosh it back and forth, you can feel the pieces are all in there. There's still like a popsicle around a stick, but it's not in line at all.
Oh, no.
That's what it felt like. I started wiggling my fingers, and it just felt like a bag of skin and meat and bone. And I was like, ugh! And
that's not good at all.
The white tip was
You made me want mushed up popsicles and immediately not want mushed up popsicles right after.
The white tip was my radius. The tip of it was just poking out a tad.
Oh, yeah. A little bit sharper of a break, and it probably would have came through the skin.
It would have come through 100%. And I'm like, I think like most people, the thought of that makes me want to vomit. And I've never broken anything, and just looking down and seeing that and affirming all those things at once, and be like, this is happening, you're not getting that pasta from the grocery store. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
I was really looking forward to that fettuccine.
I really was. So I look up, and the poor girl, I see her just in time covering her mouth going, oh! And so I had a bandana in my back pocket, so I wrapped it around my arm. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Can you guys call an ambulance, please?
I would use my phone, but broken arm.
I can't really reach it. This poor couple, it was Friday evening.
They were out on date night.
Yeah. They just got a nice big meal of, like, ribs and drumsticks.
They were ready to go. She was going to put out that night.
Let's just go home and watch Netflix. Honey, the sunset at Leslie Spit's beautiful. What's the worst that can happen? Let's go. So eventually, like, this RN showed up. Martina. I want to give everyone's names right who helped me out.
Woo, Martina!
Martina, she was so sweet. She was a nurse, so she was really helpful of, elevate your head, and she was helping the paramedics out. Like, she was like, yeah, he's got a, compound fracture on his left radius, blah, 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 like they were calling them. And what freaked me out was, they were like, oh, there's a bridge you have to go over to get there, and also the gate. I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'm going to walk like a quarter kilometer to that fucking bridge with a busted arm.
Oh, no.
Next thing I know, the lights are on the horizon. Somehow the paramedics got there. This guy, Bruce Hansen, really nice guy, took my bike and held on to it for me for a few days. Thank you guys if you ever end up listening to this.
That's
Thank
awesome
you so much.
Of you, Bruce. Jeez.
Yeah. Held on to my stuff. Martina helped me get into the ambulance, and the paramedics were cool as shit, because they were like a little bit younger than us. They were like in their late 20s, and they were just totally like, yo man, are you alright? So like, do you want like anything for the pain? I'm like, I want everything. That became my thing that night, honestly, dude. Anytime, like, do you want anything for the pain? I was like, yes. Did they give you enough of that? No. Did so-and-so give you that? No. Give me more. I was like, because I was so nauseated from looking at my fucking bone popping out of my arm. I was like, I don't want to remember this, just all the things. So they were cool, because like basically the way I kept preoccupying myself the entire time, you know me. One, I don't shut up.
That's true. That's true.
Two, I try to like just crack jokes all the time. So I'd be like laying on the sidewalk and Martina's holding me. I'd be like, I'd like to thank everybody who stopped to help me today. It's lovely afternoon. I realize you'd probably much rather be doing something else, and I'd like to thank you very much.
There's one guy in the crowd just like, actually, I had this written down on my schedule. Help guy with broken arm.
Broken
I'm
asshole.
Just glad I found you, because
now we're both satisfied. I'm like, I'm not. What?
This was not part of my plan.
So
I was gonna watch a movie.
The paramedics were great. I was talking with them the whole time, and eventually, I remember, well, not the whole time. I passed out towards the end of it,
as you do.
But I just remember at one point, by the time we got to the hospital, they were like, "Yo, bro, one thing, can we like take a picture?" I'm like, dude, go ahead. Are you kidding me? Go. I'm gonna get my phone out. I'm gonna take a pic. That's when I took that one I sent to you. We just started snapping pictures of my arm. So they brought me in.
You know what's a good break win?
Yeah, that's right. My surgeon was cool as shit. Jennifer, I think she was about my age. She's like totally laid back, like, hey man, how's it going? So you got a pretty bad fracture. She was like Daria as a surgeon.
Daria would make a great surgeon.
She was fucking great. She was like, so basically you got like a compound fracture there, so it's a pretty gnarly break, man. Like, so we're gonna get that thing. We're gonna do reduction first. Pop that thing in a little splint. We'll do surgery tomorrow morning, and don't worry, I'll try to keep your tattoos lined up and everything when I stitch you back up, all right? And I was just like,
that's awesome.
She was perfect. She was so laid back.
I'll do my best to keep your tattoos lined up.
I loved her. She was great. So they do the reduction, which is, if you know, they put it in the splint. They had to knock me out for that. They put it in the splint, and I wake up. And the second x-ray tech who did my x-ray afterwards, fucking, sir, this guy does this blindfolded, you could tell. He's like, okay, on your side, turn this way, put the board here, pull the mechanism that is on a track, it comes down and oscillates, so there's literally no angle. Yeah. You can be laying in a prone position, they can get an x-ray from any position. I'm done in like 5 minutes. This guy sends me on my way. Cut backwards in time 2 hours before my reduction, when my arm's still a fucking broken popsicle of fucking sleeve of meat. I'm in there, and this fucking frickin' frack, these stupid...
So maybe could you like unbreak your arm for this?
Like, pretty much.
Because I would really...
And then bad enough,
make it easier.
Hold on one sec. Yo, man, get in here. And he calls the other guy in here, and fucking dumbass 2 walks in. And they're like, so he starts grabbing my arm and starts twisting it.
Look how much I can move this guy's broken arm.
He's like, okay, so just turn. I'm like, bro, it's not gonna happen. He's like, no, just here's what you're gonna do. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, dude, it's not gonna fucking happen. And I don't know how pissed off I was I said it, but the second guy, I must have been kind of pissed because the second guy just went, oh, Jesus, okay, yeah, don't fucking touch the arm. Holy shit, all right.
You mean the broken arm hurts?
Yeah. He was. I can't even twist it now. They have it set straight, and he wanted to oscillate my. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. So, anyways, after Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the hospital were fucking done with me, 8:00 the next morning, they got me in surgery. I was out again. Jennifer, hey, what's up, man? We're gonna do the surgery. And she was there, and it was kind of fun. Like right before this, I was like, guys, I have one question before you start the surgery. She's like, what? I'm like, you guys listen to music before you do the surgery? She's like, yeah, we do. And he's like, what are you listening to? He's like, we have it on Spotify right now. It's top 5 surgeon playlists for the operating room.
Huh.
Yeah. And I think...
What songs are on?
Van Halen. I think the number one on there is... no, is it Van Halen? Hold on. Just to be... Pink Floyd. I remember I asked them that. You guys play Pink Floyd? They're like, oh, we love Pink Floyd.
I can see tripping out, snipping somebody up. Listen to some Pink Floyd.
Can you imagine? Maybe that's not when you want to be.
No, I used to draw to Pink Floyd all the time. It's so... Yeah, because it just helps you focus.
Yeah, but like when you're drawing, Floyd's good for that because it's a creative process. You don't want a surgeon who improvises.
No, surgeons who improvise turn out to be Sorcerer Supreme, so I think maybe you do want them.
Oh, good lord.
That's right, bring it right back to Marvel.
Right back to the Marvel. So I got out of surgery Saturday. And that really, this is where the story starts to lose steam. I just was on pain meds the whole day. My parents came up. They were so concerned. My brother and sister both called me. And yeah, I just got this fucking cast on my arm for the next, 3 weeks. It's huge. Look at the size.
It's a good size. It's like a... God damn it. Hellboy. It's a Hellboy hand.
It's a little bit like the Fist of Doom. I can't believe I blanked
on that. I was like, Claymore.
Well, the funny thing is, I was thinking I was going to turn into an Infinity Gauntlet. Since I shaved my head, I kind of feel like I have a bit of a Thanos thing going on.
It's the right hand for Thanos. Right hand,
with a right-handed Doom, though, for Hellboy.
Right-handed Hellboy.
Yeah. But, yeah, I got this, but the swelling was out of control. Now it's not so bad. I actually have knuckles again. But it was bad. The first couple of days, I posted a video where I make that stupid break joke. And my hand's like...
It's a good joke. I watched it over and over and over again. I was like, oh my god, it's perfect timing because school kids just started summer break too. So it's just, there's the summer, but it's the broken hand. And it was great.
The purple hand, man, I didn't realize until I watched that video. And you can see how swollen shut it is. Like, look at this now. I pretty much got full dexterity.
You can move the fingers. You can almost play a trumpet if
That's right.
The middle part of the cast.
That's right.
Going through the
hand.
hand.
But the fucking, oh my god, that video, I didn't realize, I guess, again, drugs. I didn't realize how bad it looked. It's like a latex balloon blown up. But, yeah, man, that's the story of that. I got a couple scrapes and scratches, but otherwise I'm still kicking. I won't be tattooing for the next little bit, but I'm just drawing Flash.
Getting ready for it? You got to get back to it?
It's not bad, man, because I just go for walks in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Run some errands. I hadn't had this much time off in fucking ever, so it's kind of nice. I've been going out.
It's got to be a little maddening.
I've been watching a lot of, old, classic... the top 10 recommended movies of all time. I just watched Sicario. We're probably going to do a Sicario.
Really good
it's fucking good. I just downloaded.
I just saw that it's on Netflix, so I might have to check it out.
The soundtrack alone, there's a sequence, dude.
I don't want to double. Soundtracks do actually make me like things more. I think
it's up there with Jaws.
I haven't watched any of the second season of Luke Cage. But I think the whole reason I stuck out for as long as I did in the first season was because I really liked the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a fucking awesome soundtrack. But
it's still on my phone.
The one for Sicario, I can compare it to, not surprisingly, because Denis Villeneuve, the Hans Zimmer soundtrack for 2049, but very much like Jaws. The soundtrack's a character in that movie. There's a
This helps build the tension.
Oh, the tension in that movie. I don't want to double down it too much because we're probably going to do Sicario 2, the second one. But the tension, there's a sequence where it's a simple in and out job. We have to go into Juarez, get a guy, come back. I don't want to spoil it. That's all that has to happen. And the whole time you're like, fuck. As
soon as you have a simple plan, you know it's going to go awry.
It's so good. And just the way the soundtrack plays a role of building the tension very slowly. I have it downloaded. It's
now
so
I want to
good.
make a movie where they do set out a very we got to do this and to do this plan in and out quick thing, but then it works out.
Yeah, everything goes all right. What the fuck?
And then it's just 40 minutes of them just keeping an eye on the news, being like, Okay, I guess your share is this much.
Do you guys see anything up there?
No, it's
No, actually,
I don't see anything.
Yeah, we're cool.
It's pretty clear.
It's pretty good.
And then they just get away with it.
Yeah, man. Well, there it is. I think I'm gonna watch Lawrence of Arabia tonight.
That's a good flick.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I haven't seen that since I was a child.
Right? I haven't seen it since I was a kid either, so I'm like, I'm gonna actually be able to sit down and deconstruct it. It's gonna be fun.
Instead of just being like, oh, I guess this is a good movie. I'm spending family time. It counts, right?
That's right. All right, man. Well, this is Trevor. Thank you for sitting in.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
All right, man. That's Space Action Podcast for this week. We'll be back next week with something or other to fill your ear holes with. Have a good week, everybody. Love you. Bye.